Hello everyone, this is JoeCool10 here with doing a review of Lego 2K Drive. I've officially 100% the game, and so now I'm ready to give my thoughts on this game. So let's go ahead and get started. I kind of broke this down in a similar way to how I did the review for Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. So I'm going to share with you all my thoughts on this game. So, in terms of the presentation of this game, uh, the graphics in this game are really good. It's a very well designed game graphically. There's 4 hub areas in total in this game. There's technically only 3 actual hub areas. The one hub area is very small, and there's not really a lot going on in the one hub area. The other 3 are pretty much where you're going to be spending most of your time in this game. Um, just because most of the collectibles and stuff are in the big hub areas. Um, but yeah, and in terms of how this game released, there was no major glitches, at least from what I saw. The only glitch that was apparent at the beginning was the brick bucks being depleted from accounts, but they did fix that, and they also gave out a bunch of brick bucks in sort of a way to make up for anyone that lost brick bucks during that time. So that was very good, and now that's no longer an issue. Um, Anytime you collect brick bucks in the game, you now get to keep those. Um, Also, the shop now works. Whereas before, when I tried to buy stuff in the shop, it wouldn't let me buy it, but now it will. So I think all the major glitches have been fixed now, as far as I know. If anyone knows of any glitches, um, I guess just let me know or whatever. But anyway, overall, this game is presented very well. So um, it's pretty good graphically. The gameplay, it's a relatively easy game to pick up and play. The controls are pretty straightforward. Nothing too overly complex. The main thing that you're going to have to learn early is mastering the drift mechanic. You're going to have to really know how to drift well in this game, especially if you're going to complete some of the challenges um, that are in this game. You're really going to have to master using the drift function quite a bit. The game teaches you how to drift early, and then there's a bunch of challenges throughout the game that really test how well you can drift and stuff. And it's good to know for the races and stuff too. It helps you make the sharp turns without having to slow down too much. But yeah, that's definitely one thing you're gonna have to know how to do. Um, most of the rest of the driving mechanics are pretty straightforward. Once you get a lot of momentum going, it can be hard to slow down and stop at times. Um, but it's just something that you're gonna have to get used to. Um, but overall, this game is relatively easy to play. I didn't, nothing too complex, overall. There might be some complex stuff that you might have to pull off in order to make some of these challenges, but we'll get to some of that later. So the story of this game is pretty standard story. You're basically just coming in as a rookie racer. You're training to get to the Sky Cup. Um, and there's the bad guy Shao Z, who's a complete jerk and stuff, and you have to face some of his minions along the way. So there's 24 checkered flags that you have to collect during story mode. And it's not just about racing. There are breaks in between races where you have to play like various mini games. And then there's also points in the game where you have to get to a certain level in order to continue. Um, so there are kind of level checkpoints throughout the game. Um, the best way I found to gain levels quickly in this game is by racing. That's really the best way to get experience in this game is just by racing. Going for some of the other stuff in this game will get you experience, but not as quickly. So your best bet if you want to grind levels fast is just to do a bunch of races in a row. Um, and then there's three Grand Brick arenas in the game. Um, Once you get 8 checkered flags, you access the first one. 16 accesses the second, and 24 accesses the third. And then once you complete the third Grand Brick Arena, you then have access to the Sky Cup Grand Prix, where you then take on Zhao Z and his crew. And once you win the race, then that's the end of the story. And it's relatively straightforward. Most of the races in this game are not too difficult. Some of them did take me multiple attempts to win, but overall they're not extremely hard. And later on in the game, you get access to better vehicles that you can use which will make things easier. And yeah, overall, the story mode is not too difficult. I got through it relatively well without too much trouble. And then free roam. Each hub area will have different various collectibles. There's a bunch of collectibles in this game. There's a bunch of brick bucks hidden around each hub area along with the collectibles. What's nice about it is that the brick bucks will help you find some of the collectibles, but not always. So some of the collectibles will just be hidden in random spots. Um, and unless you look up where the collectibles are, you could spend hours looking for some of this stuff. I'll get more into that later, but yeah, some of the collectibles can be tricky to find in this game. Um, so I would definitely recommend getting yourself a guide to find the collectibles. I know I did, and it was very helpful. There's also world challenges in each hub area. The world challenges are not too difficult. They're fairly straightforward. Um, the game kind of tells you what you're supposed to do, and it's not too difficult. The only world challenge that I really didn't care for was red brick, green brick. I didn't really like the aspect of that one, but it wasn't too bad. There's also quests, where basically the person will send you on sort of a fetch quest where you have to go and collect something and bring it back or whatever. The quests are relatively straightforward. There was a couple of the quests where I did have to look up online where the stuff was because the game doesn't really help you find the stuff always, but the quests weren't too bad. But the real the real challenge is the on the go challenges. Now, in order to get 100%, you do not have to get gold on all the on the go challenges. You only have to get bronze, which is what I did on pretty much the majority of them, of the on the go challenges. As I only got bronze because there are some of the on the go challenges that are very difficult, and I found that it was going to be pretty much impossible for me to get gold. I was lucky to get bronze on a lot of them. So I did not get I got bronze on most of them, but it was enough to give me 100% in the game, so I was happy with that. So I cannot answer as to what happens when you get gold on all the on the go challenges. I'm guessing probably not much. You might get access to a few more things, but I'm sure it's nothing to write home about. We'll get more into that later. So, in order to get 100% in this game, you will have to collect the 24 checker flags, like I said. there are 23 races. There are 23 different races in this game, including the Sky Cup. Besides the Grand Brick Arenas, so there's one race that you will have to do multiple times on different levels in order to get your checkered flags. Otherwise, all the other races you will only get one checkered flag for. There's 3 medals that you get from the Grand Brick Arenas, and then of course the Sky Cup. When you get to the Sky Cup, you will earn yourself the Sky Cup once you beat it. And then there are about 400 collectibles in the game. That includes all of the collectibles in the hub areas, along with the weeds that you have to mow down in each hub area. And like I said, the collectibles. Your best bet to find all the collectibles is to use a guide. There was a couple times where I did miss a couple of collectibles and I had to go back and find them, and there was a case where I had to spend over like 2 hours to find like one brick box that I had missed. That was very annoying, and I was about ready to call it quits with this game at that point. And there was other times where the collectibles were kind of tough to find, but again, if you use a guide, it does make it a lot easier. And if you're if you're gonna do it that way, it's best to just wait, and don't collect the collectibles just randomly as you go. Just wait to get the collectibles until you're ready to do them, and then use the guide to help you find them. That's the best. What worked best for me. That way you don't have to know, okay, which ones have I already gotten, which ones, I haven't. If that makes sense. There's 800 brick bucks in the game. Again, I struggled with finding. There was one brick bucks that I had missed in one of the hub areas. And that was very annoying. But overall, the brick bucks do help you find some of the collectibles. And it wasn't too bad. There's 16 world challenges in total. I already talked about those. There's 20 quests in total. Again, those were relatively straightforward. And then there's 78 on-the-go challenges. And like I said, I really struggled with some of these challenges. There was a couple of the on-the-go challenges that really did me in, and I was there was at least 1 or 2 moments where I was ready to rage quit with the game. It was not good. It pretty much got to the point where the game was no longer fun and was just kind of a chore at that point. So I was very lucky to get bronze on the on the go challenges. So I cannot be asked to get gold on them. So I'm not going to. And there's 35 jetpacks. You're gonna find the jetpacks by finding the collectibles. Because you have to use the jetpacks in order to get the collectibles. That's just kind of how it works. But yeah, overall, it wasn't terrible getting the 100%, but I don't know. It was kind of a chore, to be honest. It really was. It just got to, like I said, it just got to the point where the game was no longer fun. It's just kind of, But anyway, so the reward that you get, you will get experience. The level caps off at level 30. I kind of felt like that was a little low, considering that you have to get to level 20 in order to finish off the story. So you only have 10 levels of experience after that. And I got to level 30 well before I finished off before I got 100%. So there are new vehicles that you get to unlock along the way. Some are better than others. You can buy vehicles with brick bucks. And and stuff. There's also a bunch of extra stuff in this game. Um, and then nothing happens at 100%. It just says you got 100%, and that's pretty much it. I can't answer if there's anything. Like I said, I can't answer if there's anything that happens. Um, when you get gold on all the gold challenges, there might be some more vehicles that you unlock, or some more other stuff that you can unlock. But I can't be asked to do that, so I don't know. Overall, was it worth it? Probably not, but I did it anyway, so you're welcome. um, so my overall score of this game, 5 out of 10. It's a pretty average game. I felt like the races were pretty good. The game looks really good. Um, the races were fun. Um, I love the vehicle transformation uh thing. That's pretty cool how that, and it's the races were fun, like, but the on the go challenges not so much. Those were kind of a pain in the rear. Um, and I don't know if you can reset the game, like go back to go back to square one, start over. I don't know if you can do that. It doesn't look like you can, which is a little unfortunate because all the other Lego video games I played, you can start a brand new game on. But this one, it doesn't look like you can. But to be honest, even if I could, I don't know if I would anyway, just because it was kind of a chore to get 100% in this game. Uh, but overall, it was an okay game. Um, there were some frustrating moments to be sure. Um, it was a lot of fun. Now, the one thing I didn't really talk about too much was the vehicle customization, and I imagine that you could spend hours just building and customizing various vehicles, but I really didn't bother doing this so much. I know it was kind of one of the main features of this game, um, but I didn't really take the trouble to do. I did some of the tutorials with the garage, but I didn't really do much with the vehicle customization. I would imagine that you could really go all out though and build some really cool creative vehicles. There's a lot of vehicles that you unlock throughout the game, so um, it's it is pretty cool. It's also cool that you get to unlock actual Lego sets and play as those. Um, there's also various drivers that you unlock. It really doesn't matter which driver you use. That doesn't really affect anything. Um, it can matter which vehicle you use though, because every vehicle has different stats. Um, and so you can kind of just through trial and error figure out which vehicle is going to be best. Um, there might be some vehicles that might make some challenges easier or harder. I pretty much just stuck to with the same vehicles throughout the challenges. Maybe if I would have switched, it would have made the challenges easier. I can't answer that, but um, overall, it was an okay game. It wasn't. It was definitely not near as good as some of the other Lego video games that I played, but it was pretty good. So like I said, overall, this game was all right. I don't know where I would put it in my ranking of Lego video games. I honestly don't think I would even put this in my top 10 though, to be honest. You know, the formula that TT Games has used for their Lego video games is, I feel like, the tried and true gold standard formula, and I feel like that this game, tries to be different, and it is different in a lot of ways. So I don't know if it's entirely fair really comparing this game to the TT games. Um, but I don't know. I mean, in some aspects, I feel like it was kind of trying to be like the TT games, but not entirely. I think it was in some aspects trying to be its own thing, and I do respect that, and I do, I do. Yeah, I think 2K did an okay job with this game. I feel like they did, that there was definitely some things they could have improved on. Um, I feel like that overall, though, this game, it was all right for what we got. Was it worth the price that, the the price that you have to pay for? Probably not. And honestly, I I didn't get any of the DLC, and I don't know if I could really recommend getting the DLC because it just basically the DLC is just you have to get more experience and you unlock a bunch more stuff that you can use throughout the game. I don't think it really adds a whole lot to it. There's not any like additional races that you get access to, as far as I can tell. Um, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot extra that you get access to. Um, that's really noteworthy with the DLC. You do get access to more brick bucks, I guess, so you can buy some more stuff in the store. Um, as far as like the brick bucks, I know there's microtransactions. I didn't engage with any of that, and I personally wouldn't recommend anyone doing that. I would say just grind up the brick bucks if you want to buy something. Um, you know, buy racing. Racing is probably your best bet to get brick bucks. You know, especially once you get 100%, then racing is pretty much your only option to get brick bucks. You can get some for completing on the go challenges, um, on higher levels and stuff, but I would say probably your best bet for getting brick bucks consistently is probably doing races. So I would say if you want to buy something, just grind up the brick bucks is gonna be a lot better than paying actual money to get brick bucks to buy stuff, because because from what I've heard, you could basically buy a whole Lego set for the same price as buying a virtual Lego set that you can only use in the game. It's like, okay, I'd rather spend my money on an actual Lego set, because that's more fun. But anyway, um, but yeah, overall, this game was okay. Um, it was definitely not near as good as some of the other Lego video games that I played throughout throughout my career. As far as updates for the channel, I I do have some Minecraft videos that I've been sitting on. I don't know when I'm gonna get those released yet. At this point, I don't really know what what my plan is going to be going forward. I don't know. I've had some Let's Play ideas that I've been sitting on, but I'm not sure if I want to do them yet or not. But as of right now, I kind of want to just take a break. I definitely need a break from this game because it just about did me in a couple of times. So I'm kind of ready to move on from this game. Um, it was okay, but I think I've had enough of it for now. So, but I'm glad I played it. I'm glad I experienced it. I'm glad I got the 100%. If nothing else, and yeah, I want to thank everyone for watching the video, and thank you all for your continued support. Um, we'll see. Maybe at some point I'll release those Minecraft videos I'm saying on. I would like to finish off that series at some point. I'm getting relatively close to finishing it off. At least for what all I want to show in that series. And we'll see what else I want to do. You never know what's gonna happen. So, um, stay tuned. Um, and hopefully we'll see you again at some point here soon in the future. But until then, this is Jokul 10 signing out.